we'll get a schedule the evening before our training day. We usually skate about like 2 sessions, sometimes all at once, like back to back, and sometimes separated. We'll have 1 hour of warm up before the ice time starts. For us, usually we train like sometime in the morning, so it's usually the first thing of the day. The first thing to get our body moving, so we start pretty slow. Both of us have things that we work on with our osteopath, certain kind of rehab/prehab exercises. I think that any elite athlete realizes after a certain amount of time the main focus of training has to be staying healthy. So warm-up is definitely super important. We try to put a priority on making sure that our body is not only like warm, but we kind of re-educate ourselves. And that's what I'm working on a lot right now is in skating, we compensate and we force things that maybe aren't the most natural. And we have to make sure that we kind of balance that out with doing a lot of exercises that appear very easy and very simple, just breathing and posture things, walking, but we want to make sure that we kind of re-educate our system as to what is a healthy posture and healthy positions, and because we can kind of get out of balance. So that's kind of the focus for both Zach and I for our warm-up. And then we'll usually get on the ice and we have about 15-20 minutes of just general stroking. In the summer, it's a bit more. We have more group lessons of stroking. We might spend a whole 45 minutes or an hour on different stroking exercises in those months that we don't have a program yet. And now into the season, since we have a lot of training to do specific to each program, we spend a bit less time, but we still make sure that we warm up together. We practice just basic skills a little bit every day. And then we usually start with one of the programs and we'll kind of have one session that's mostly one program and the second session the other. There's not really a pattern to it. It depends on what Patrice wants us to work on with which coach. He decides that, and we get the schedule in the morning before we train in 15-minute increments. It's an Excel sheet that tells us everything we're supposed to work on through the day with which coach. It kind of takes the thinking out of it. You just know exactly what you're supposed to do, which is really nice. They have to accommodate everybody's schedule requests. If we have physiotherapy or osteopathic treatment or workout, we send those requests to Patrice and he builds a schedule for all of the teams around the requests and then decides which teams train together and each day maybe what each team needs and which coach. And we spent a lot of time this off-season with Patrice especially, who is our main trainer. We're really lucky that Patrice takes most of that on. He's a very generous person. I know that he goes home from here, gets home at 5, maybe eats dinner with Marie-France and their daughter Billy Rose, but I know that he also sits at home every night making a schedule, making sure he accommodates his athletes, talking to God knows how many federations. So he kind of coordinates all of that. We might ask them to work with Sam, the hip-hop choreographer, or Gigi, the ballroom choreographer, and they take our request into consideration. They decide what we need, how much, and then Patch takes time to schedule it for us.
We're really lucky that all the coaches have a great communication process, and they have a great communication with each other. Pretty much everyone knows what's going on at the same time about everyone. Everyone's taken very well care of. Everyone tends to get equal time, which is nice. It can be common in a larger camp to a few teams get more time than everybody else, or one team in particular, and that doesn't really happen here. Everyone gets an equal amount of time, and luckily we have all day to train as well. We've got private ice from 7:30 in the morning until most days 4:30, 5 o'clock. So everyone has enough time to train and get everything they need done. We have everything here. For us, there's the gym here. For other people, they work out at gyms that are close by. And the communication between everyone is on point.
Now, as we've gotten the levels and the first competition out of the way and the training regimen is really in place, we're going back in with Marie, and she's doing a lot of the detail work, fine-tuning little things. Now that she's seen what she created with the program, she sees it in competition, she has a little bit more of a fresh perspective on where she wants it to head. So in the next few weeks before Skate Canada, we'll be working on those things with Marie. Unless there's some unforeseen problem, the choreography doesn't change a lot during the season. We try and set it as much as we can, the general outline. But then Marie is very open to things as they develop. So usually it's just after each competition, she'll decide what she liked, what she didn't like, and we have tweaked a few things since coming home from Salt Lake. You look at something over and over again, you kind of lose perspective. She was able to not see us for a week, then watch us on YouTube for Salt Lake, and she kind of got an outsider's perspective. And there were some things that she thought could be better. And things will change through the season like that. But in general, especially with certain rhythms like Latin, she doesn't want it to become so robotic and so placed that it takes our own personality out of it. With these dancey Latin programs, I definitely think that she leaves some space for our own instinctual movement, because obviously the more free you feel to be yourself, the more of an impact it will have on the judges.